Let's get this out of the way up front. Market statistics are boring. Not for me, but probably for you. But here's the thing. Buying or selling a house in Fort Lauderdale is kind of a big deal. If you don't suck up this boring, you could end up costing yourself a lot of money or ending up with an agent who just doesn't know what they're doing. My name is Casey Prindle. I've been a full-time realtor going on 15 years now in South Florida. But this video is not going to be about me. This video is about you making the most informed decision that you can, whether you're considering buying a home in Fort Lauderdale or selling a home in Fort Lauderdale. If you find this data useful, please consider subscribing to the channel. That way I can keep you up to date on a monthly basis of what's going on in the Fort Lauderdale real estate market. If there's something else you'd like me to do a video on, feel free to comment below, call, text, or email me. So I'm going to go ahead and do this a little bit differently than I have been in the past. In the past, I just gave you one video which combined single-family home, condo, and townhome data all together in one thing. Now I'm going to go ahead and split them out into two separate videos. So there will be a distinct video for single-family homes, a distinct video for condos and townhomes. And I think that'll help people a little bit more. That being said, the intro for both videos is going to be the same so that I don't have to film two separate ones. So please excuse the redundancy. All right, let's start with condo and townhome sales in Fort Lauderdale. We will look at the period of April 1st to April 30th of 2024. Sales data is taken from closed MLS sales during that period. Stick around to the end of the video. I'm going to break down the sales in a way that I think no other agent is really looking at it or is going to show you, and that's by price bracket. If you've seen my videos for a while, you've probably seen that, but anyways, it'll be coming up at the end there. So let's start. Median sold price. Median sales, it looks like we're leveling off a little bit here, albeit a little tick down, but still on the high side of the chart at $520,000. There's no real way of getting around it. Lauderdale's an expensive marketplace, and so, look, as you know, I don't put a whole lot of stock in median pricing, so let's just move on to something else I think is more relevant. Total number of properties sold during the period. We do know that I like to pay a lot of attention to the total number of sales that actually took place. Obviously, I think closed sales are the best metric to look at. So look at this, up 7% month over month. But I don't think that's the big story here. I think we need to take a look since January. There were 106 sales down here in January of 2024. And we're up here now at 157 sales. So there's a casual 40% increase in total sales over a handful of months. That's a big jump. So you know all those national news headlines that keep saying, Florida housing market's in a free fall and all this kind of nonsense. I just don't believe it when it comes to Fort Lauderdale. Maybe other areas of Florida, sure, but you'd have to ask agents that work in those areas. The agents that I work are not seeing this free fall in pricing and free fall in total sales. So the data just says otherwise. Average list to sales price. List to sales price is kind of heading up or, maybe leveling off a little bit here. At least in my experience or observation, I think that sellers are getting the message that we're past these kind of COVID crazy times where you could just ask what you wanted and you were going to get it in a handful of days. So that the tighter the spread gets, like it was up here, the more that this benefits sellers. The lower the spread, the more that this benefits buyers. Down here, it says sellers have had to reduce price, had to negotiate on terms. Again, an average of about 5% off original listing price. So we'll see how this plays out, but if this goes back up, better for sellers, comes back down, better for buyers. That's kind of the news flash on that one. Median days on market. Median days on market are up to 53. Sellers are hoping that this keeps headed down. Obvious reason for that is because that's going to pressure buyers to make a faster decision. The fewer days on market, the faster a buyer has to look at a place and choose if they want it or not, or if they're going to pass. And with days up here, it kind of means, somebody looks at a place and they don't really have to make a decision in any quick amount of time. 53 days is a pretty decent amount of time. So longer the properties sit, the more room it creates for buyers to negotiate. So definitely something to keep in mind. Median price per square foot. Median price per square foot sitting at $397. As usual, I'm going to kind of breeze over this with just my usual footnote. The good stuff is selling. You know, the beat up junky stuff that needs a lot of work, that's just a tough sale right now. That whole DIY thing, that time is past. But the nice, fully renovated, you know, that's the stuff that buyers want to see, and quite frankly, it's the stuff I like to list. Total dollar volume. So you knew when you saw increased sales that the volume's going to follow, right? It's just how it goes. So from just shy of 70 million down here, right? In January, up to 123 million last month. It's a ridiculous move. This is a 75% move in just a handful of months. So look, I was even kind of leaving this market for dead down here. I think if you go back in the videos, I thought we were going to just break through the lows and this is going to get super ugly. But that's not what's happened. It took a rebound and kind of heading up. It looks like we'll keep an eye on it, but I think it's definitely an interesting thing, right? Let's go on to month's supply of inventory. Oh, if you're a seller, this is not a good slide. There's just nothing good in this. Now, 83.5% more supply than there was 12 months ago. 9.32 months. That's high. I mean, look at this chart. We're on the high side. If you were a buyer, this is the chart you want to see. This lets you know, look, here we go. Time to go shopping. There's more to see. We probably have some room to negotiate because 9 months of supply, sellers probably aren't seeing a whole lot of offers. They may not even be seeing a whole lot of showings. So, you know, again, we're going to get down into this where, you know, the price bracket is going to matter. So don't get too ahead of yourself if you're a buyer in some of these brackets. That being said, sellers, you just don't want to see this. You want this to come back down. You want the sales increasing, the amount of listings coming online to stay level so that this eats away and we get back down here. That's where it's good for you. So condos and townhomes right now, there's just a lot of supply. You know, I think you got to, if you're a seller, you got to recognize this, and you're going to have to price aggressively, just to be totally honest with you. So let's get on to pricing brackets. All right, $1 million and above, 31 sales. That's a big number. 750,000 to 999,000, 18 sales. 500,000 to 749,000, 31 sales. 499,000 below, 77 sales. So 69% of sales taking place below 749,000. So that's your sweet spot, right? 20% of sales are above $1 million. I'll be honest with you, that's a big number. To be above $1 million and have a fifth of the sales there, that's a big number. And again, what that's going to show you is people that have money, they're not shy to come into the market right now. Now, a lot of those are going to be beachfront or have something kind of spectacular with them, likely new construction. But nevertheless, it's just a big number. So you got to understand what bracket you're in, because it's going to feel really different across the price brackets, right? So let's look at it a little bit differently. Right now, there are 371 active listings above $1 million. There were 31 sales. So there's almost 12 months of supply above $1 million. So 12 months above $1 million. Now remember, we had 9 months of supply on average. So above $1 million, more supply than the average. There are 590 actively listed condos and townhomes that are listed below 499,000. There are 77 sales in that bracket. So there's under 8 months of supply, 499,000 and below. Would you rather be a seller in the 8 months of supply or in the 12 months of supply? Of course, in the 8 months of supply, rather be a buyer in that 12 months supply. So again, it's not all created equally. You got to know where you are in the market. Interesting times here, right? The market is more balanced, honestly, across price points than I've seen in a while. So typically we see half or fewer months of supply on the low end versus the high end. So that it's kind of an interesting ratio to keep an eye on. But here's the deal: if you're thinking of buying, it's just good information for you. And if you're looking for a real estate agent who not only knows the data but understands it, that's me. Let's talk. If there's something you want me to do a video on, call, text, email me, leave a comment below. If you want to sit down and talk about real estate, let's go have a coffee or a cocktail. See you guys next month.